Hi guys, this is Varn Fury, taking an honest review look at H1Z1. Now, mind you, this is my very first review of a game, period. This game is made by SOE and is another zombie survival game. And what I mean by that, there is DayZ, there's Infestation, there are a lot of zombie survival games out there. Those are the two that are closest to this one, even though I feel like this game borrowed some things from State of Decay. Now, the game is pretty decent overall. I've been asked quite a bit, do I think the game's worth the $20? I've streamed the game a couple of times. I got 28 hours, 29 hours into this game. Do I think it's worth it? Depends. If you're playing by yourself, it's not going to be nearly as fun as if you're playing with a group of people, period. Any game that you play multiplayer with, if you're playing with a group of people, you're going to enjoy immensely more, where if you're playing a game by yourself, you're going to be like, well, the fuck. Now, there are a lot of people in this game. Even if you play by yourself, you'll run into people in general. And right now, it's kind of got a 50-50 on the Care Bear versus KOS. A lot of people are scared of one another in this game. There is microphone, voice chat in the game, so a lot of the time someone will ask you, are you friendly, blah blah blah. They'll either avoid you or they'll follow you, and sometimes you never know, you might make a new friend.
Run for it!
It was a trap. I'll see you in the afterlife.
No! See ya.
Now, graphically, the game's pretty good, in my opinion, for an early access. I mean, they're nothing stellar to write home, but they're not horribly that bad either. Same thing for audio. When you're out in the woods, you feel like you're kind of out in the woods, but they could be much better in some things. Gameplay mechanics, I think they feel pretty alright. Movement, ducking, jumping, running, they seem alright for the most part. Guns in the game, however, are extremely accurate, and they don't have bullet drop.
The guy was shot in the face.
Oh shit, that looked like it hurt. Wow, this thing's not effective from range.
Now, other gaming mechanics in the game are looting, obviously, because it's a survival game. And that's one of the big things that survival games could possibly do to you, is go, hey, there's a cabin over there, you should go look inside of it. Now, right now, they're fixing some of the loot. They're trying to balance it out so there is a reason to go check cabins, because a lot of the times you go check a cabinet, there's no loot inside of it. Once in a while you'll find something that you really need. There are times when my characters needed food really badly and I found it just before I was starving to death. They're kind of fixing it up a little bit because there are like 200 people on the server running around, so you're guaranteed about every few minutes you're running into somebody. If you're in a town, you're constantly running into a bunch of people running around together, and unfortunately that can be very bad for you if you're by yourself, because the next thing you know, you're running into a group of people that have shotguns and they quite frankly see you as a threat. Now, one of the really strong points of this game is its crafting system, and I think SOE hit a good nail so far on the head with this. Now, there are ways that you can discover recipes. When you first start off the game, you only have a few. To discover a recipe, you take an item and you go to your Discovery tab. You click on it, and then the items, if they're highlighted, you can throw them in there. And when you do that, you can hit a little button and it will tell you what you can craft out of the item. Now, sometimes you only need one piece of item to create multiple things. But if you can continue to make recipes, that item will stay highlighted until you can't make any new ones. Then you can go to your crafting. In this case, we're going to make a makeshift bow. We need one piece of cloth and one piece of stick. Just hit the combination button and boom, you got yourself a makeshift bow. And then with the arrows, all I gotta do is put the sticks in there, discover I can make arrows, and then I can craft some of them. And arrows are really, really easy to come by in this game because all it requires is sticks and there's woods everywhere. So one really good tip for anyone new watching this that has the game, that is bread and butter. Feel free to get rid of your shirt for this because it really does help. One of the other things in the game is wildlife. There are rabbits, deers, and bears, and wolves. Oh my. And trust me, the deers don't want you near them, neither do the rabbits, but the wolf and bear do not have a problem with chasing you around trying to kill you as well. Now, you can kill them, get meat, and you can cook the meat. There are fireplaces in the game that you can make or find. But you do need a way to start a fire. You can make either a bow drill, which starts a fire, or you can find a lighter on a zombie, which is much easier. Now, speaking of zombies, the zombies in this game kind of do two mechanics. They either walk really slow at you, or they run really fast at you. And sometimes they do a mixture of both. But they are still a threat in the game, especially with players around. You can get easily surrounded by zombies because normally in an area that has one zombie, there tends to be a bunch of them. And they are attracted by sound, and they will go after the nearest person. Now, one of the other things about zombies is when you kill them, you can kill them with one single headshot or a couple of rounds to the body. When you drop them, they normally drop loot sometimes. And when they drop loot, it can be anything from something that they had in their previous lives, which could be like 145 round, or they might drop a bunch of things, and if they drop a bunch of things, it was because that zombie had turned around and killed a player, so that zombie now represents that player and some of the loot that they had. They also drop these worn letters, and this is one thing I really do want to address as well. These worn out letters, basically there are crates out in the world, and the letters give you a hint of where these crates are. When you go to these crates, there's a key that comes with the letters. You put the key inside the crate, and voila, when you back off and come back to the crates, you have a massive amount of supplies. Now, the reason I really want to talk about this for a moment is because there's a thing in the game called airdrops, and SOE said with the airdrops you can buy them for like $1 or $2. I'm not sure how much they really are right now, but you could call them in and get supplies from them. And one of the things that they said that you weren't going to be able to get is weapons. Unfortunately, a day before the release of H1Z1s, they had turned around and said weapons are going to be in the crate. And people feel like the game had went from, hey, it's a free game to pay to win. Honestly, I've opened some of these crates. Not because they're my own, but because they're someone else's. When these crates come in, they do have decent supplies in them. When they were first coming in, people were getting rifles and all this other stuff that were like, oh my god. And then SOE apparently toned it back a little bit, because after they had toned it back, I found the crates, and all I was getting, it was like a pistol and a couple bullets. I know some people say they still get shotguns and hunting rifles, but it doesn't seem like they get as much ammo. The crate quest in the game, I get 40 shotgun shells, 40 AR bullets, a shotgun, I get a backpack, night vision goggles, I get food, sometimes I get medical supplies. And people are still bitching that the airdrops are pay to win. Okay, well, to me, they're not really too much pay to win. Yeah, you get a little bit, but it's not giving you a huge edge. It's just a little bit of supplies in my case, where I could go kill 30, 40 zombies, go get one of these keys, and I got myself a massive amount of stuff from a crate. Sure, I gotta avoid players, but you know what? When you call in an airdrop, you can hear the sound of the plane coming through. You can see the crate drop. You still got to deal with players if you're near an area that someone happens to be by. And then on top of it, there's zombies that comes out of the damn care package, so you got to deal with them, and that chews up time to be able to get the stuff out of the crate without someone coming along and killing you for it, you know? One of the other things that SOE has put in the game as well are things that are just called regular crates and crate keys. Now, crate keys open the crates, obviously. Inside the crates, there are permanent items. These permanent items are cosmetics that you can apply to your clothes. One of my buddies in the community has a red and blue helmet, so anytime he gets a helmet, he can wear it. The one that I currently have is a blue flannel shirt, so I can basically take any shirts I get and turn it into that special item. Now, one of the things that SOE did that's kind of annoying is they give you one key and two crates. And they allow you to buy the keys, so you always have basically 2 and 2. So use one key to open a crate. Now you have an extra crate left over. And if you buy keys, you buy them in sets of 2s. So it's kind of annoying that they did it that way. But, you know, I guess it plays on some people's personalities that they have to eliminate all the keys and crates that they have altogether. Now, another thing that you can get in the game, which is kind of random, are event tickets. Event tickets are for Battle Royals. Anyone that doesn't know what Battle Royal is, it's a mod for Arma 2 and Arma 3, and it plays out like Hunger Games. Basically, you have no items. You start off in an area, you have to scavenge anything that you can find, and then you have to kill everyone around you until you're the last person standing. And on top of it, in this version of Battle Royale, a poisonous cloud is basically surrounding the area and gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Kill anyone that's outside of it, and it forces all the players to come together eventually until one is left standing. Another thing I will address in this game as well is hackers. I've played the game for 28 hours. I have only dealt with 2 hackers so far, speedrun and no clip for both of them. Now, are hackers going to be a problem in this game in the long run? Who knows? People have reported them. Honestly, like I said, 28 hours I've only run into it 2 times. There is another issue in the game as well, which is desyncing. And the last video that I put up, you know, it might be desync, it could be a teleport hack. I really don't know. I haven't seen desyncing that bad. Normally if someone desyncs, they move forward and then return back to their original spots. They don't go like freaking Goku who's fighting Frieza appearing in every goddamn direction around the person. So I don't know, but apparently desyncing is a common problem that I have only personally dealt with 2 times as well. So I really don't know. Now I guess I'll get to my final judgment on the game. Is the game still worth it, you know, with the early access stuff? You know, that all depends on a person and, you know, their view. For me, I think the game's worth it. I've already put 28 hours into a game that costs $20. There are games out there that I can go spend $60 and they only last me for 10 hours before, I'm done with it. So for me, I think it's worth it. Maybe for you, it might not be. If you still are on the fence on if you want to pick it up or not, go watch some of other people's gameplay videos of the game. I mean, yeah, you run around a lot and that's not really fun, but when you do get into the bulk of things and you're actually doing pretty good, where maybe your mentality is, I want to kill everyone that comes in my facility. If you're doing that, you're going to be enjoying yourself until someone kills you, and then you have to stop the whole process of finding gear and then going to a spot to basically sit down and kill everyone. But for now, I will end this little review and I will give an update sometimes later on, because this is a early access and anything now is not exactly final. So hopefully you guys have a good day and I will see you another time.